What have you been doing? Pete, you and me are gonna leave now. You come into my house. Pete, you and me are leaving. You're leaving right now. You think you're the law? You actually think you have a say in anything here? Step back. Who the hell do you think you are? Someone is trying not to kill you. No! Stop it! I can help you. I can keep you and your boys safe. I can.
3 things. Rick's tone of voice is low and he almost whispers. He also has his brow tense and he leans down, lowering his posture when trying to persuade Jessie. He lowers his voice as a way to seem non-confrontational. He's trying not to put any pressure on her, as when we use raised voices, it's a sign that we're exerting our authority. Rick's voice is deliberately soft as to not pressure or seem confrontational toward Jessie, allowing her to make a free choice. He also has his brow tense. When our brow is like this, it's a sign that our full attention is being given towards a situation. It's a sign of alertness which shows that Rick is desperately trying to understand and comprehend the situation. He then lowers his posture down. This, like the change in tone of voice, is him trying to be non-confrontational. Dogs, when play fighting, always lower their posture before barking and then pretending to bite. This is to tell the other doggo that they're playing and aren't actually trying to challenge them and fight them. When we're confrontational, we try and appear as big as possible and threatening to either scare off a predator or assert our dominance over people less powerful than ourselves. Rick does the opposite here, showing that he's trying not to apply any pressure toward Jessie, again allowing her to make her own decisions free from pressure. Rick then changes his proxemics and gets slowly closer to her, but notice that he doesn't touch her. This is again trying to apply no pressure on her. He's very cautious.
All you have to do is say yes.
Sorry to interrupt, but if you are enjoying this video, please consider hitting that subscribe button as it really does help the channel out. Thanks. She then tenses her mouth together. This is called a suppression of speech and shows that she wants to speak but can't think of the words to say. This causes her stress and she does a distancing behavior with her eyes. She looks down and inhales. She is unsure and is having many doubts and uncertainties.
Would you do this for someone else? Would you do this for anyone?
When asked the difficult question, Rick distances. Realizing that he's only doing it for her because he loves her causes him high levels of stress, which is why he looks away. He then does the same suppression of speech that Jessie did earlier. He presses his lips together. He wants to say something, but he can't think of the words to say.
Rick? What are you doing here?
Pete.
What are you doing here?
Jessie then looks at the ground and experiences what's called the Globus Sensation, which is very similar to bruxism. When we experience stress, our muscles tense up and that causes our throats to also tense up, giving us the urge to swallow. This is called the Globus Sensation and indicates that the person is going through high levels of stress. She also tenses her mouth, which is her again suppressing the effects or muscle tension caused by the buildup of stress. Rick then goes into the freeze response. He doesn't change his body language at all and stares at Pete, trying to assess the situation in order to improve the chances of survival. The freeze response is triggered by the sympathetic nervous system and is our first response to a threat. Movement above anything else is the easiest thing for a predator to spot, so it locks us in place, making us more hidden and improving the chances of survival.
Listen to me.
I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. Rick?
No.
Excuse me?
You need to leave.
What are you talking about?
Pete fakes a smile. This is given away by the fact that his eyes don't tense up. He also speaks in this weird tone, and his mouth doesn't move normally. This is because he's filled with high levels of stress, which, like we saw with Jesse, causes our muscles to lock up, which is why he speaks in this way. If you see people looking tense, or speaking with a tensed up jaw like this, they are likely very stressed or angry, which is pretty much the same thing. He fakes smiling as he knows that that's what he should put on, but deep down he's furious. Rick then tenses his forehead and adjusts his posture to encompass Pete. Pete's voice then quivers as he tries to maintain that calm and collected persona. It's obvious that he's furious. Now this is common amongst narcissists. They try and seem like the polite and reasonable people before quickly snapping with rage.
Just go, Pete.
What have you been saying to each other? Huh? What have you been doing? Pete, you and me are gonna leave now. You come into my house, Pete. You and me are leaving. You're leaving right now.
He then looks to Rick and smiles briefly. He's still trying to maintain that happy and calm persona before finally snapping. Jessie then distances with her eyes. When Pete asks her what she's been saying, she's afraid of him and how he might respond. Then when he shouts, she quickly distances, turning away from him. She is terrified of him. Rick, being calm and collected, tries to de-escalate the situation, looking to the floor when telling Pete that they're both going to leave. He's trying to be as non-confrontational as possible in order to de-escalate the situation. Pete also continues to exhibit bruxism, tensing his jaw together and then changing his proxemics to get closer to Rick. This is super confrontational.
You think you're the law? You actually think you have a say in anything here? Step back. Who the hell do you think you are? Someone's trying not to kill you.
No!
You want to stop now? Come into my house!
Pete, stop it! Pete, stop it!
When Pete finally squares up to Rick, Rick then begins to show signs of anger. He begins tensing up his face. Now we all know that Rick would have killed that guy within seconds, but I guess that would mess up the plot. The body language in this scene is super realistic, and Pete plays the abusive and narcissistic man perfectly. You can see him desperately trying to keep up appearances, while also trying to scare and bully his wife. You can also see Rick trying to de-escalate the situation, which is a very good bit of attention to detail. Overall, really good scene. So thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, please be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.